Okay, well, Wynn got the next bonus of an action. He recovered his ship a little bit, and then got this move or draw warship. He sailed away his blockader, allowing him a chance to now sell his goods. He has to wait until his next turn, though. Who knows? That ship might come back. Things ended up over in Captain Kidd's hands, and he was in some trouble. He sailed here into Tortuga, though. We had a adjustment on the merchant ships that happened, but then he got a move or draw warships. He centered his ships here, reblockading Wynn. He also moved this one 5. It's only allowed to move 2. Nobody challenged it. Kind of a mistake. If people were paying it, I rolled some dice to see if they would remember. But if people were paying attention, they would point it out and say, hey, you can't move that far. The only person who wouldn't is Taylor, who's perfectly fine leaving those ships in the place. But in a sense, Kidd was kind of making a play, which, if there's table talk or something terrible could happen in this kind of situation where Kidd could say, I'm moving this ship and I know it's not this fast. Or really kind of point out to everyone that he's moving it with a kind of a cough or something like that. So far, nobody's picked up this bonus, and there's a good chance they won't. There's a good chance another random event will come up and kill it. Just because everybody's got their own little problems that they're dealing with. Lowe got a couple of actions repairing his ship. Now remember, he doesn't have much that he can do here. He's already banking on De La Salle winning him the game here. His main goal is let somebody get enough notoriety or get a King's Commissioner or something so that he can do something. But then we came to John Taylor, who finally got to get away from this. This is one of the problems with the 4-player game. 2 and 3, it's not so bad. You can spend long periods in a situation where you're really at risk. And given that the game is ended by the first player to lose all his pirates, it's quite possible that some bad luck can end up actually ending the 4-player game more quickly than the 3-player game or 2-player game, because in the 2 or 3-player game, the pirates have more of a chance to get out of a problem. Anyway, Taylor fled here to New Providence in the Bahamas. He could have made it to Tortuga, but he didn't want to fight Kidd, even though Kidd's wounded right now. It's a risky thing and doesn't gain you that much to duel someone. Basically, dueling is something you do when you have someone like Teach, Blackbeard. You just waddle into a port and, try to kill off the other guy's pirates real quickly. Taylor's not really in the mood or desirous of killing off other pirates. Landing here makes it too much of a risk for there to be a fight. If Kidd can heal his wound, he's actually a slightly better duelist, and it's just too risky. Taylor did some refitting, and because he's in a pirate haven, he gets to do a complete refit, so he repairs his ship a little faster. Lowe sold off his goods and then set sail. He had an option to DNR, and he might have wanted to, because his crew value is kind of low. He's not getting a lot of cash off of this sale. He's not getting any real value off of it, but no notoriety, nothing. It's just too little money. But the thing is, DNRing gives you a chance of creating an anti-pirate governor. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to try to keep as many ports available to him as he can. He hasn't seen his attack history, etc. The thing he doesn't want to do is end up with nothing to do out in the Indian Ocean. Alright, Wynn managed to get an action. He sailed out, took on a merchant ship. He's already got full holds, but he could flush a hold for a cargo. A $10 cargo isn't worth a lot. So he went there and grabbed that merchant while he was. It turned out not to have anything, but he got some notoriety for the cruelty and an attack flag. That did lead me to realize I've made a mistake in the rules so far, which is the escaping battle. I checked the interception here. He wasn't intercepted. He sailed away. I've been giving out those victory point, the notoriety points for escaping a battle by just not getting intercepted. I'm pretty sure that Taylor's notoriety came from that. I think Kidd actually fought a battle. I'm going to throw Taylor's notoriety away. He never actually fought. I think. Oh no, he had damage on him. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the notoriety on both of them because I can't be certain. You have to actually fight a round of battle. How did he? No, he got hit with merchant stuff. Yeah, Kid, I'm pretty sure did fight a battle, so his notoriety is earned. Basically, you have to come down to making a battle die roll against the warship. Using your combat value. If you don't do that, you don't get notoriety for just slipping away. And this should be on Kid. Kid ended up recovering from his wounds, then got a random event. And you can see, you're not getting a lot of forward motion in this game in a lot of cases. You're just trying to get yourself back into position. Now, Kid wants to go someplace to sell that big $2,000 hold. He'd like to get into an English port to do that. He doesn't want to sell that at the pirate haven because he gets a much, much smaller share of his money that way. He'd like to go to a pro-pirate port, but there isn't one that he hasn't attacked. He should have stayed away from Spaniards if he wanted that. Now, I got to place a governor chit and rolled the dice and ended up getting this one. What happens is this governor replaces this one. Since this is a pro-pirate governor, he's actually removed from the game. I'm not sure what to do with him. I guess I'll just put him over here because I'm kind of drawing out of the governor pile that I have there. Alright, we had a random event again. And this would cause the scurvy to hit these guys again. I think I actually marked it already and was going to start saying, certainly by the time we get down to a combat strength of 3, but even around 7, it's becoming kind of almost an enticement for the pirates to go hit. Well, what we ended up getting was European unrest, which ends up clearing the KCs. They leave the board, they go back to Europe, and they're all healed and everything's fine for them. All KCs return to deal with the war in Europe instead of hunting the pirates. Well, Captain Kidd manages to get a move warships, and he centers a bunch on Wynn, and he also blockades Taylor over there. Now, this is a little iffy because remember, you want the game to keep going, so say hunting Wynn down might not be great. But on the other hand, you got to worry about this guy's got notoriety. What could happen? Well, what ended up happening was Wynn ended up getting beaten up pretty bad. He fought both of those ships, one at a time, interception chances, but got away from both of them, so he gets 10 notoriety for that. But it's going to cost him time to recover his ship. So in a sense, it's sort of this mixed thing. You're not necessarily trying to get rid of the other player, but cost them time, but in the sense, well, you give him the notoriety, maybe it all evens out. Hard to tell. But Kid's got his own plans in mind that he wants to take care of, and he figures hitting some of his opponents might work out pretty well. He doesn't have to get too much further than what he's sitting on. He's got 2,000 money there. Another good find, maybe a raid on a port. He might have enough to beat the current leader. Lowe manages to slip away. Or no, Taylor manages to slip away and get up here. I got myself confused as to who was who and did it in the game too. And then Wynn also manages to sail into repairs, but instead he sells his stuff. Now he's not going to DNR. There's a few reasons. One is there's so many warships around that they can cause problems. You can see he was able to move one of them. The other is if he DNRs, he can't do anything. He could petition for King's Commissioner. I want to say King's Champion here. But that doesn't really help much. He wants to get his ship repaired and out sailing. But he did want to sell the stuff. I'm not sure. That was probably a mistake to do that first. He could get in some serious trouble if he gets blockaded there. Kid shifts ports down to Jamaica. And then Wynn, well, this is kind of a problem. Actually, it wasn't Wynn. Yeah, it's still on Kid here. And then Wynn gets blockaded with a warship intercepts most notorious pirate. His sail didn't help him there, but it actually didn't hurt either. But that's one reason you don't want to sell. Now he's blockaded. He took a hit in crew unrest. and he really needs to repair that ship. Of course, on the other hand, he couldn't sell while he's blockaded. So, it's kind of a trade-off there, but I think he was better off. That wasn't some big prize that he needed to ditch. And now Kid gets his action and gets to sell his big prize. There's $2,000 on there for Jamaica. He does not want a DNR. There's no reason. His crew is tickled pink. He gets a bunch of notoriety for it. He does not have the opportunity to sell his hostage. He did have the opportunity, however, to try to buy a safe haven. These I generally view as a terrible move. But for someone like Kid, who has kind of crappy leadership, only a 2 leadership, it might not be that bad an idea. It's a place you can put your money. Of course, he doesn't have enough money to put that guarantees that he'd win, that gives him a shot at winning. So it's a silly idea at this point, but if you can get your money squirreled away somewhere, then if your crew mutinies, well, you don't get wiped out. You end up being a retired, perhaps, pirate with the money that you've saved away. But until that money's above what somebody else has already put away, I don't think it's really a good idea. It doesn't serve much purpose at all. Now, the other side of that is when you're doing a safe haven, you get an advantage when you're selling booty in a safe haven. That's one of the big bonuses. You get 120% of your value. You get bonus refitting, all kind of cool stuff there. But see, the problem is it's going to cost you a bribe of, I think, a D600. Which is a significant amount of money. If you have to pay, 600 out of that, or 300 even, or whatever, that's a big chunk of his victory conditions that he's working towards there. And then when you add to that, if it's not at a pro-pirate port, you have to draw a chit from the Pirates' Cup. And I think if you don't get a pro-pirate, if you get an anti-pirate governor, I think the money's just wasted. I'm not sure. I didn't read that far. But I know that you don't get the safe haven. You only get it if you get a pro-pirate governor. And it also removes a pro-pirate governor from the pile, which is always a bad thing. Anyway, enough babbling on that. He's made his big sale. He's going to try to sell the hostage next. And then he's going to go off and he's going to try to schwack that town. On the other hand, Kid gets to sell this passenger. Now, he still has the secret information until certain things happen. Kid dies, that's schwacked, the governor changes there. It doesn't matter that he's selling the hostage here. And he grabs another $300. Now, that does not affect his notoriety. He just gets the money. But remember, money is one of the potential victory conditions. So, it doesn't give you the total bonus, but sacking the port should increase both. All right. Well, quite a bit of time's passed here. Kid's getting closer. Taylor's heading down here looking for another merchant ship to fill his hold. Lowe finally managed to attack something here. He attacked it. He failed once, took a hit, marked here. That gave him his double notoriety again. He's cranking up his score there. Didn't get a lot of cash, though. He might want to try to sail into some place to repair. Of course, he's got the Turks now here, so his options are kind of getting more limited. The Brits are anti for him, so all he's got is Portuguese and French.